Have you ever wondered if the woman you're seeing is truly into you, or if she's just using you for what she can get? It's a harsh reality, but not every "I love you" or "you're amazing" is sincere. In fact, there are 5 sweet lies women tell when they're not being genuine, and today I'm going to expose them all. These aren't just innocent phrases. Each one could be a red flag that she's taking advantage of you. Ready to find out if she's playing you? Let's dive in. Sweet little one. I love our conversations. Let's start with a statement that seems so harmless, so innocent, that many men don't even realize they're being played. I love our conversations. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with enjoying someone's company or having deep, engaging conversations. But when a woman is using you, this phrase is often a cover for something else. It's like a smokescreen, something that keeps you engaged while she subtly controls the dynamics of your interactions. Here's how it works. Imagine this. Every day, you're texting her, you're talking on the phone, sharing stories, getting to know her better, and she's responding with enthusiasm. She's telling you how much she loves these conversations, how much she enjoys your company, and how you make her day brighter. It feels good, right? It feels like a connection is forming. But here's the catch. Every time you suggest meeting up in person, she pulls back. There's always an excuse. She's too busy with work, she's got family commitments, she's not feeling well. The list goes on. Now here's where you need to pay attention. If these excuses keep piling up and yet she's still happy to text or call, you have to ask yourself, is this relationship real? Or am I just filling time for her? Because that's what can happen. You become her emotional crutch, someone she uses for attention, for validation, without ever giving you the chance to build something real. Why does this happen? Well, for some women, having someone on the hook, someone who's always available for a chat, who's there to boost her ego and make her feel wanted, is comforting. It's like having a safety net. She might not be interested in a real physical relationship, but she loves the idea of having you around to give her the attention she craves. It's not about you as a person, but about what you represent, an available source of emotional support. What's worse is that because you're biologically wired to respond to positive interactions, you're likely to overlook the warning signs. Men, by nature, tend to seek out and respond to positive stimuli. So when she's telling you she loves your conversations, it feels good. You start to believe that there's a genuine connection and your brain gets hooked on the positive reinforcement. This is where you have to be careful, because if she's consistently avoiding meeting up, if she's keeping things strictly digital, there's a good chance she's using you for attention and not much else. So, how do you protect yourself? How do you know if she's sincere or just keeping you around as an emotional placeholder? First, pay attention to her actions, not just her words. If she's constantly making excuses about why she can't meet up, that's a major red flag. Second, set boundaries. Let her know that while you enjoy talking to her, you're looking for something real, something that goes beyond texts and phone calls. If she's truly interested in you, she'll make the effort to meet up. If she's just using you, she'll fade away once you put up those boundaries. Sweet lie 2, you're so insert compliment here. Compliments, they're like candy for the soul, aren't they? We all love to hear them, whether it's "you're so strong," "you're so successful," "you're so attractive," or any other flattering phrase. These words can make a man feel on top of the world. But here's where things get tricky. When these compliments are part of a bigger game, one designed to manipulate rather than to genuinely appreciate. Let's break this down. Women know that men are biologically wired to respond to positive stimuli. We're talking about centuries of evolution here. Men by nature crave validation, especially when it comes to their strength, success, and attractiveness. And when a woman wants something from you, whether it's your time, your money, or your resources, she's going to use that to her advantage. Enter the sweet lie. Picture this. You're out on a date and she looks at you with those admiring eyes and says, "Wow, you're so successful. I bet you've got your whole life together." You feel good, right? It strokes your ego, makes you feel like you're the man in charge. But here's the catch. What comes next? Does she ask you to pay for an expensive dinner or buy her something? Does she mention how she's struggling with her rent? or how she wishes she could afford that designer handbag she's been eyeing. The compliment is often the setup for the ask. It's designed to lower your defenses, make you feel special, and then, when you're feeling good about yourself, she slips in the request. And because you've just been flattered, your natural inclination is to respond positively. You want to live up to that compliment, right? You want to be the successful guy, the strong guy, the generous guy. This isn't to say that every compliment is a lie, but when a compliment is always followed by an ask, whether it's for money, a favor, or your time, you need to start questioning her intentions. Is she genuinely appreciating you, or is she buttering you up to get something from you? Here's how to spot the difference. A woman who's genuinely into you will compliment you without expecting anything in return. She'll admire your strength, your success, your attractiveness, and she'll let it be. There won't be any strings attached. But if she's using you, the compliment will always be tied to some kind of request. It might not happen right away. Sometimes it's delayed by a few hours or a few days, but it's coming. So what can you do? First, be aware. When you hear a compliment, don't just take it at face value. Ask yourself, is this genuine, or is she trying to soften me up for something? Second, don't be afraid to say no. If she asks for something and it feels off, trust your instincts. A woman who truly values you won't walk away just because you didn't buy her that handbag or fix her fence. But a woman who's using you will be out the door the moment you stop giving her what she wants. Sweet lie 3, you're the best lover I've ever had. Ah, the bedroom compliment, the ultimate ego boost for any man. You're the best lover I've ever had, she says, and suddenly you feel like the king of the world. It's a powerful statement, one that can make you feel invincible, like you've got everything under control. But here's the harsh truth. This compliment, as flattering as it is, can sometimes be used as a tool of manipulation. Let's be real. Who doesn't want to be the best in the bedroom? It's a badge of honor, something that strokes your ego and makes you feel like you're doing everything right. But when a woman is using this line, you have to ask yourself, is she saying this because she truly means it, or is she trying to control you? Because when a woman is using you, this compliment often comes with a hidden agenda. Imagine this scenario. After a passionate night together, she turns to you and says, "I've never felt this way with anyone else. You're incredible." Your chest swells with pride, you feel like a god, and then she asks for something. Maybe it's a favor, maybe it's financial help, maybe it's forgiveness for something she's done wrong. Whatever it is, the compliment was just the setup. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes this compliment is genuine. Sometimes she really does feel like you're the best lover she's ever had. But if it's always followed by an ask, if she's using this compliment to get something from you, then you need to take a step back and evaluate what's really going on. Let's dive deeper into why this works. Men are naturally competitive. We want to be the best at what we do, whether it's in the gym, in our careers, or in the bedroom. So when a woman tells you that you're the best lover she's ever had, it taps into that competitive nature. It makes you feel like you've won, like you've conquered something. And because you feel so good about yourself, you're more likely to be generous, to give her what she wants, whether that's your time, your resources, or your forgiveness. But here's the thing. If a woman truly values you, she's not going to use compliments as a way to manipulate you. She's going to appreciate you for who you are, not for what she can get from you. So the next time you hear this compliment, pay attention to what comes next. Is she asking for something? Is she trying to get you to do something for her? If so, it's time to question her motives. Now, to really understand the dynamics behind this, we need to recognize how powerful sexual validation is for men. It's not just about physical pleasure, it goes much deeper. When a woman praises your sexual abilities, it taps into your core identity as a man. Society often equates a man's worth with his prowess in the bedroom, and unfortunately, some women know this and use it to their advantage. Let's break it down further. Imagine you've had a few intimate encounters with a woman, and she constantly tells you that no one has ever made her feel the way you do. She goes on and on about how amazing you are in bed, how you've taken her to places no man ever has. In your mind, you're thinking, I must really be something special. And while that might be true, you have to consider the context. Why is she telling you this? What does she want? If every time she showers you with these compliments, it's followed by a request, whether it's for money, your time, or even forgiveness for questionable behavior, you need to ask yourself, is this genuine, or is she playing me? The fact is, many men don't see the manipulation at play because the compliment is so intoxicating. It feels so good to hear that you're the best, that you overlook the other signals she's sending. You overlook the fact that she's constantly asking for things, or that her behavior seems to change once she gets what she wants. Here's another scenario. You've had a rocky argument. Maybe she's done something that hurt you or crossed a boundary. Right after making amends, she turns to you and says, "You know, I've never had anyone like you in bed. You're the best lover I've ever had." Suddenly, your frustration melts away. She's validated your ego, and you start to feel good about her again. But wait, don't let the compliment blind you. Ask yourself, is she saying this because she truly feels this way, or is she trying to soften you up so you'll forgive her and move on without addressing the real issues? Sexual compliments can be extremely powerful because they speak to a man's need for validation. But be wary if these compliments are being used as a bandage to cover deeper problems in the relationship or to manipulate you into giving her what she wants. A woman who truly respects and values you will compliment you in the bedroom because she genuinely means it, not because she's looking to gain something from you. Now that we've covered the powerful psychological play of sexual compliments, let's move on to another phrase that cuts deep but is often misused by women with selfish intentions. Sweet lie 4. I love you. I love you. Those 3 words hold so much weight, don't they? They're the words every man wants to hear when he's in a relationship with a woman he cares about. They signal commitment, affection, and the promise of something deeper. But what happens when those words are used as a tool for manipulation? What happens when I love you is not a genuine expression of emotion, but a calculated move designed to control you? This is perhaps one of the most dangerous lies a woman can tell when she's using you, because it's the hardest to see through. When a woman says, I love you, your defenses naturally drop. You feel secure, you feel valued, and you start to trust her on a deeper level. But what if her I love you isn't coming from a place of sincerity? What if it's just another tactic to get you to do what she wants? Let's take a closer look at how this works. Maybe you've been dating for a few weeks and things are going well. You're starting to feel like this could be something real, something long-term. Then, out of the blue, she drops the I love you bomb. It catches you off guard, but it feels good, right? You start to believe that this relationship is going somewhere serious. But here's where you need to be careful. Is her I love you backed by actions that show real care and commitment, or is it just words? One common scenario where I love you can be misused is when a woman feels you pulling away. Maybe you've started to sense that something's off, that she's not as genuine as she seems. You begin to distance yourself, and suddenly she's all over you, telling you how much she loves you, how much she cares. In reality, she might be saying these things to pull you back in, to keep you from walking away. Another situation where I love you can be problematic is when it's used to gloss over bad behavior. Let's say she's done something hurtful. Maybe she's been disrespectful. Maybe she's crossed a boundary. Instead of apologizing or addressing the issue head-on, she says, "But I love you." And just like that, you're supposed to forget everything that happened because, after all, she loves you, right? But love doesn't excuse bad behavior. If she's using I love you as a get-out-of-jail-free card, she's not being honest with you or herself. Now, this doesn't mean that every time a woman says I love you, she's lying or manipulating you. There are plenty of women who say it because they truly mean it. But if you notice that her I love you is always conveniently timed, if it comes right after an argument, right when you're thinking of walking away, or right before she asks for something, you need to be on alert. Words are easy to say, but actions speak louder. If she loves you, she'll show it through her actions. She'll be there for you, she'll respect your boundaries, and she won't use those 3 words to manipulate you. Be cautious when I love you seems to be used as a tool to control or pacify you. Real love is about mutual respect and care, not about keeping someone on the hook for personal gain. Sweet lie 5, you're my hero. Let's move on to the next sweet lie that can be deceptively flattering. You're my hero. Now, this might not be a phrase you hear every day, but when it's used, it's incredibly powerful. Why? Because every man has a desire to feel like a hero. It taps into that innate need to protect, to provide, to be the one who steps in and saves the day. And when a woman uses this phrase, it can make you feel invincible, like you're truly her knight in shining armor. But here's the problem. When a woman is using you, "you're my hero" is often just another manipulation tactic. It's designed to make you feel special, to inflate your ego so that you're more likely to do what she wants. Let's break this down. Picture this scenario. She's in a tough spot. Maybe she's struggling with work. Maybe she's having financial issues. Maybe she's dealing with some kind of personal drama. She comes to you looking vulnerable and says, "I don't know what I'd do without you. You're my hero." How does that make you feel? Probably pretty good. You feel like you're the one she can count on, the one who can solve her problems, and that's exactly what she wants you to feel. Because once you feel like her hero, you're more likely to step in and fix whatever issue she's dealing with. Maybe you offer to help her financially. Maybe you take on more responsibility in the relationship. Maybe you sacrifice your own needs to make sure she's okay. In the moment, it feels good. You feel like you're doing the right thing, like you're the man she needs. But here's the catch. If she's constantly putting you in the hero role, if she's always relying on you to fix her problems, it's not because she sees you as her equal. It's because she sees you as a tool. She's using your desire to be the hero to her advantage. She knows that if she plays the damsel in distress, you'll swoop in and save the day. And once you've done that, once you've given her what she wants, she'll move on to the next crisis, the next problem, the next situation where she needs her hero. Now, I'm not saying that helping someone you care about is wrong. In a healthy relationship, both partners support each other and step in when needed. But if you find yourself constantly being cast as the hero, if you're always the one solving her problems, always the one she turns to when she needs something, you need to ask yourself, is this relationship balanced or am I being used? So let's continue unpacking this phrase, "you're my hero," and why it can be such a subtle yet powerful tool for manipulation. We've already touched on how this taps into a man's innate desire to feel like a protector, a provider. But let's delve deeper into the psychology behind it. What does being a hero represent, and why is this particular lie so effective at pulling men into situations where they can be used? The concept of the hero is deeply embedded in human psychology, especially for men. Throughout history and in almost every culture, men are often seen as the protectors, the knights, the warriors, the ones who step up in times of danger or need. Society celebrates men who rescue others, especially women. From ancient myths to modern movies, we see the hero narrative repeated over and over. A man faces adversity, overcomes challenges, and in the process saves someone, typically a woman, who validates his worth by recognizing him as her hero. This is where it gets tricky in relationships. Women who know how to play the game of manipulation will use this ingrained need to be the hero to their advantage. They'll position themselves as damsels in distress, creating scenarios where they appear vulnerable, in need of protection or assistance. And when you step in to help, they reward you with praise. "You're my hero," they say, and suddenly all your efforts seem worthwhile. You feel important, needed, and validated. But what happens next? In many cases, the problem that you've just solved is only a temporary one. Maybe you helped her through a financial crisis, or you stood up for her in an argument, or perhaps you helped her out of a sticky situation at work. But here's the thing. After you've saved her, does she become more independent? Does she start solving her own problems? Or does she keep finding herself in need of a hero? If it's the latter, then there's a pattern forming. A pattern where she relies on you not because she genuinely needs help, but because she knows how to push your buttons. She knows that if she presents a problem and plays the role of the damsel, you'll swoop in to save her. And each time you do, she reinforces your role by calling you her hero. This creates a dangerous cycle. You begin to feel like it's your responsibility to protect her, to always be there to solve her problems. And because you've been conditioned to think that being a hero is a good thing, you don't realize that you're being used. You're not her hero. You're her solution to every inconvenience she encounters. And the more you step into that role, the more dependent she becomes on you, and the more you lose sight of your own needs and boundaries. So how do you break free from this pattern? First, you have to recognize that being a hero isn't always a good thing, especially in relationships. Healthy relationships are built on equality, not on one partner constantly rescuing the other. If you find that you're always the one stepping in to save the day, it's time to step back and ask yourself, is this really a balanced, healthy relationship, or am I being manipulated? Second, start setting boundaries. It's not your job to fix every problem she encounters. Yes, it's important to be supportive, but there's a difference between support and being used. If she's truly interested in you for who you are, she'll respect your boundaries. She'll understand that you can't always be the one solving her problems. And most importantly, she'll start taking responsibility for her own life rather than constantly relying on you to be her hero. Finally, watch for patterns of behavior. If every time she has a crisis, she comes to you with that same look in her eyes and those same words, "You're my hero," it's time to take a hard look at the relationship. Is she genuinely in need, or is she using you? If it feels like you're stuck in a loop where she's always in distress and you're always the one rescuing her, then it's time to reevaluate what's really going on. Now that we've thoroughly explored this lie, let's pull everything together and discuss how to recognize when these 5 sweet lies are being used to manipulate you, rather than being genuine expressions of affection or admiration. Recognizing the signs. How to know she's using you. At this point, we've broken down 5 sweet lies that women might tell when they're using you. I love our conversations. You're so, insert compliment here, you're the best lover I've ever had. I love you, and you're my hero. But how do you know if these are just harmless phrases or part of a larger manipulation game? It's all about recognizing patterns and paying attention to the context in which these phrases are used. Let's start by talking about patterns. One of the key signs that a woman is using you is the repetition of these sweet lies in predictable situations. For example, if she only says, "I love our conversations" when she's avoiding meeting up with you in person, that's a red flag. If she constantly follows up compliments with requests for money or favors, that's another red flag. If her declarations of love seem to come at convenient times, right after an argument or when she senses you pulling away, you need to start questioning her sincerity. One of the most dangerous aspects of these lies is that they can make you feel good in the moment. Compliments, expressions of love, and praise for your actions all play into your natural desire for validation and affection. But if these phrases are being used strategically, they can cloud your judgment. You might overlook bad behavior or excuse red flags because, after all, she said she loves you, right? She said you're the best lover she's ever had, so she must be genuine, right? This is where context comes in. A sincere woman will show you through her actions that she values and respects you. She won't just say, "I love you." She'll back it up with consistent, loving behavior. She won't compliment you just to get something from you. She'll appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can do for her. And most importantly, she won't rely on you to solve all her problems. A woman who truly cares about you will be your partner, not your project. To protect yourself from being used, you need to start paying attention to the patterns and context of your relationship. If you notice that these sweet lies always seem to surface when she needs something or when she's trying to avoid confrontation, it's time to take a step back and assess the situation. Don't let flattery or temporary validation blind you to the bigger picture. How to respond, setting boundaries, and protecting yourself. So, what do you do if you realize that a woman is using these 5 sweet lies to manipulate you? The first step is to set boundaries. Boundaries are essential in any healthy relationship, but they're especially important when you're dealing with someone who may not have your best interests at heart. Start by being clear about what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do. For example, if she constantly asks you for favors or money after complimenting you, it's time to say no. Let her know that while you appreciate the kind words, you're not a bank or a handyman, and you're not going to be used. If she truly values you, she'll respect your boundaries. If she's just using you, she'll get frustrated or disappear when you stop giving her what she wants. Next, pay attention to how she reacts when you set boundaries. Does she respect your decision, or does she try to guilt trip you? Does she accept responsibility for her own problems, or does she keep coming back to you, playing the damsel in distress? If she's using guilt or manipulation to get you to do what she wants, it's a clear sign that she's not being genuine. Finally, don't be afraid to walk away. If you've set boundaries, if you've communicated your needs, and she's still using you, it's time to move on. Remember, you deserve a partner who values you for who you are, not for what you can provide. Don't let yourself be trapped in a relationship where you're constantly being manipulated by sweet lies. Walking away can be hard, especially if you've invested time and energy into the relationship. But staying in a relationship where you're being used will only hurt you in the long run. It's better to cut your losses and find someone who truly appreciates and respects you. Stay sharp, stay confident, and don't fall for sweet lies. We've covered a lot of ground today, exploring 5 of the most common sweet lies that women might tell when they're using you. From "I love our conversations" to "you're my hero," these phrases can be flattering and make you feel good in the moment. But if they're being used to manipulate you, they can cause long-term harm. The key to protecting yourself is awareness. Pay attention to the patterns in your relationship. Look for signs that these phrases are being used strategically and set clear boundaries. If a woman truly values you, she won't rely on sweet lies to keep you around. She'll be honest, supportive, and respectful of your time and efforts. So next time you hear one of these sweet lies, stop and ask yourself, is this genuine or am I being played? Stay sharp, stay confident, and don't fall for sweet lies. If you found this information helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you've ever been in a situation where you felt like you were being used, share your experience in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going and help each other recognize the signs of manipulation. Thanks for watching, and remember, stay sharp, stay confident, and stay in control.